Greetings, family. Welcome to the Grand Rising Collective. My name is Kyle Dixon, co-host, educator, and entrepreneur for 20 years. Grand Rising Collective's here is to cultivate greatness in ourselves and our community.
And my name is Kayode, co-host, educator, and entrepreneur for over 20 plus years. My contribution to Grand Rising Collective is to help cultivate that greatness in ourselves and the community through impactful discussions, seminars, and webinars with my co-host, Kyle Dixon.
Greetings, family. This is Kyle Dixon here for another episode of the Grand Rising Collective podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have a special episode for you today. We have a guest, potentially new co-host, as we'll see. But of course, got to say what's up to the people. Myself, co-host Kyle Dixon, my other co-host, my partner in podcast, Kayode Bentley. Say what's up to the people, Kayode.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, like Kyle is saying, we excited about, who you're about to meet today. As so yeah, we're going to dive in like we do, y'all. But thank you, Kyle. What's up, everybody? Let's go.
Yes, sir. Indeed. So we have a new potential co-host here, a good friend of ours, a good colleague of ours, Miss Lindsey. Shelly, say what's up to the people.
Hello, people. So Kayode changed his voice. He got all like Billy D. Williams on me, so it threw me off for a second. I was like, wait, what? He was like, hello. Thank you, Kyle. I was like, where did Billy D come from? But anyway, hello. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So as you see, you all, this is going to be a very lively discussion. And you're dealing with three professionals, excuse me, the trio, the tres,
Trio.
The three amigos, potentially. So we're gonna jump right into it. But
I'm really tired of using the word potential.
Potential.
You didn't say potential like 4 times.
There you go. There you go.
I feel like I'm not even on a 90-day plan.
All right,
we'll see.
Okay. All right.
How many ways can you say potential?
How many times? That's a key word, potential. Like the Pee Wee's Playhouse, potential.
Potential.
All right. So, so before we go into it, right? Of course, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe to our channel. Right? We've been around since 2019. We plan to be around a lot longer. But like, share, subscribe, share, like it, use it, take it for what you can, and help develop your lifestyle. So let's jump into it, y'all. So I know we were talking about earlier with the elections. The DNC was in Chicago, my second home, Shot Town, Shot City, the Windy, the Go. All right, it was in the DNC this past week. The Democrats had many different guests, and we talked about Kamala Harris and her impact. Indeed, yes, her impact on the nation, what she plans to do, what she wants to do, what she's proposing that she will do. Will she do it? We don't know. But yes, Kayode, I know you're bringing up the post by one of my favorite professors, one of my favorite scholars, Dr. Raymond Wimbush. All right. So Dr. Wimbush was one of my professors at Fisk University, HBCU. Holla. So he was there. Now he's at Morgan State University, still doing his thing. And he had a very interesting commentary on the situation of politics in Black folks. All right. So I don't know if we want to read it. But
that's long.
It is long.
What summary?
Summary. Okay, so the summary is, for the most part, is as he's saying, people are saying Kamala's not Black, Kamala's not real, she's a clone, she's phony, she's only using the Black race as a smokescreen to get the hearts and minds of the people so they will vote for her. But basically, in the top, he's saying, I realize that no elected official, Black or white, is going to do what we need as a politician. We have to decide collectively what we need for our communities and fight for it no matter who is elected as POTUS, senator, governor, congressperson, mayor, or council person.
That's the highlight.
That's the highlight.
Interesting.
So, I want us to talk about it because, politics are everywhere. We are governed by politics. We are heavily influenced by politics. It literally determines whether people live or die. Uh, whether it be a slow death or whether it be immediate death, it definitely adds or takes away from people's lifespan. And in regard to the talk that's going on with Kamala, that she's not Black, she's not this, I 100% agree with Dr. Wimbush. And not because he's my professor, but I just 100% agree. I'm at a stage in my life where I recognize that Democratic, Republican don't really serve Black folks, nor do they really serve white folks either, really, to be honest.
Okay, I got a question. Is he
Yeah,
saying that she's not, or is your understanding is that she's not Black, or is that she is not representing the interests of Black people?
great question. I believe his commentary and my commentary is mostly that a lot of people are trying to discredit her about her ethnicity, when
Okay.
Dr. Wimbush is like, okay, that could be a valid argument, but what supersedes that is the fact that no candidate, if they're representing Democratic or Republican, can really serve the needs of our needs as Black folks specifically in this country.
Okay.
Totally.
Because those are two different types of conversations, right?
Yes, they are.
Discussing someone's ethnicity when, you see parents and you hear what it is. I mean, some people consider Jamaicans Caribbean and not necessarily Black, which is a little bit on the outside. But
Mhm.
I'm trying to keep up with the conversation when people say she's not Black. So there's, for me, there is she's not Black or she doesn't have the best interests of Black people. At the end of the day, I don't know too many people that is in her position that would elect to say that I'm a Black candidate, knowing the uphill battle that they would have to face, acknowledging the fact that they're Black. So the fact that she's just acknowledging the fact that she's a woman of any color other than white, I think dismisses, at least for me, the ideology that she's not a Black woman. Now, that's in terms of race. Like I just can't see that. Um, and then on the other side, if you say she doesn't have the best interest of Black people, I think in her position or anybody position that's in politics, you cannot. It wouldn't be in your best interest. Let me not say you cannot. It wouldn't be in your best interest to come out and say I have the best interest of this one population of people,
Mhm.
right? Because that makes you a biased individual. And in this country that we have right now, we have a huge population of mixed marriages, individuals who identify with mixed races as she does, right? So why would any one politician to come out and say I'm for the best interest of Black people, period. Now I can see she come out, or any politician come out and say I'm for the best interest of Black people, Asian people, LGBT. We'll be sitting for a long time because there's so many groups of individuals. But I think to say that she doesn't have the best interest, we don't necessarily know what her best interest is for any one particular group. And that goes to your professor point across the board. Like I do think we need to just go back to the idea of, if you identify with this particular group, then you in that particular group need to work together to get the resources and advocate for the things that you need, not place that onus on a politician, because politicians, they have to play on both sides, not even both sides anymore, like four sides,
Mm.
right? And so if you walk into a room, it's like a KKK member walking into the room with Asians and Blacks and gays and say, hey, I want to work together, but I'm for the best interest of the KKK. How much of their agenda is going to get done? Because the other three groups are already going to be on guard. Like, why would I work with you to help your people when your people don't even like my people? So that's, that's my opinion. Like,
Mm.
I can't see either. I get it that people feel that way, but I don't get why people would feel that way given the times that we live in and how we have to operate so inclusive, right? And the only population that I feel right now in general, and I'm making a generalization, this is not an individual
Right.
commented one person, but the only population that doesn't necessarily particularly serve um all people is white people. And we see that with the Republican Party, how so many of them who are white majority. There are blacks that are in that group. There are Latinos, Cubans, and some others that mix into that Republican group that supports some of the rhetoric that Trump's promote. And I don't even believe Trump believes half the stuff that he says. Like I really do. I just think like he is in a bad predicament. Somebody said, "Hey, I think you should run for president," and somehow the strategist was like, "Wait a minute, this is catching on." He said one foolish comment, whatever that comment was, can't date it back because it's been so many, right? And they're like, "Oh, this is a strategy. Let's roll with it. Keep making these mistakes." And I just think that's what happened, and I think he's now stuck. Like, well, I guess I got to keep making these foolish mistakes. And these, I really don't. I just don't. Given his background, I just can't see him being the person that he is today. But hey, a lot of people wake up and is racist. Just like you got people wake up and they gamblers. You hate your job enough, you'll start becoming a gambler or alcoholic, drug addict, you get a good taste of something. So you never know. He might have woke up and was like, hey, I want to be a racist. It's the American dream. Be who you want to be.
Be all you can be.
Yeah. Hell, as people say, I might wake up and say, I identify as a white woman. I'm who I want to be.
Right.
It's the American way.
Rachel Doval.
I mean, look, anybody who say they want to be a black person, I'm all for it. Let's move our agenda forward. If you Asian and say you black, come on, blackanese.
This is a deep conversation.
It is.
And I'm enjoying it. And I'm tempted to just shut up and not say anything because it's a lot. It's a lot. So let me say this. I'm gonna try and remember the point you brought up, Shelley. So, right, I agree with you, right? You can't run for office and then, because this is what I would get upset about our culture would talk about Barack Obama. You ran for office and you ain't do nothing for us. And they get on him about that. They got on him about the tan suit he was wearing and stuff and all that other, all that stuff, right? The reality of it is, and what pisses me off, and I know a lot of people don't like that term, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the blatant hypocrisy of it all. Here you had Barack Obama in office. He couldn't even wear a tan suit without everybody getting on him trying to impeach him. And you got this, I got to watch my mouth. You got the idiot in office, Trump, who obliterated the whole structure of the presidency and all that. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. It's amazing to me how the thing is just crazy, right? So one of the things that I push back on that specific topic in and of itself is the fact that if Barack Obama got in office and said, I am going to do things and pass legislation for my people alone. I'm not against white, but I'm for black. If he even said something like that in office, they would have had him impeached as soon as yesterday. Who knows how long he would have remained in office. And the fact that our culture doesn't even realize that amazes me. It's a political structure that we don't own. We don't have any say, so we don't have any input. It's lucky that he was able to serve 2 terms. So that's one, right? 2. I may have missed some of your points, Shelley, but I'm just trying to give it
You got it.
All right. So 2, we have this idiot in, Kamala. We talk about not Kamala's not the idiot I'm talking about the idiot Trump. So make sure that's clear. Clear.
We're gonna have to censor him right there. Doing the editing process, be like, beep.
Right.
So this whole thing about, just say you have a Ku Klux Klan representative, 4 whites going into a room full of diverse ethnicities, Asian, Black, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, right? And he has to play this role, and that pisses me off too, because I'm like this. I don't know how it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, through much prayer, what have you, but there has to be. We have to wake up and realize as a culture, we have to come together and defend and speak for ourselves. We have to work united. We have to. And the reason why I say that, putting Kamala aside, I'm going to shelve her real quick. It's the recent development that took place in the goddamn Olympics. You had this person from fucking Canada, excuse my language, but it pisses me off. Breakdancing was something that we created as a culture. In the 80s with the breakdance, the windmill, and the whole 9, it was a skill to it, right? It was amazing. I remember growing up in the 80s, seeing a breakdance movie, and it had the cardboard, but I changed my life.
Are you upset about this breakdancing thing? Were
Hold on,
you
I'm
a
getting
break
Yeah,
dancer?
yeah, Ray Gun. Yeah, Ray Gun, her name.
right, right. No, I
Yeah,
mean, I tried it, Shelly. I
Rachel
tried the
Gunn.
little break dance. I did a little one when I was young, but
Like
Yeah,
I'm
same here.
feeling the passion about
I
it.
know, right?
because I'm getting to a point.
He's like, I ain't making it to the Olympics because they didn't recognize my skills
No,
as a break dancer.
no,
And look at the hypocrisy that is happening with the break dancing going
I'm
on in the Olympics.
Shelly, I'm getting to a
But go
point. I'm
ahead.
getting to a point. So
Serious face.
the point is this. The point is this. Here you have this person, Ray Gun, that goes in there and literally makes a mockery of that skill. It's amazing how breakdancing has even reached that stage of right recognition, world round recognition, breakdance. And she gets up there and she makes a mockery of it, a joke of it, and how they're rallying behind her.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about gender. It's not a male, female bashing thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how the Olympics is supposed to be the best of the best. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Olympics is supposed to be the best of the best. You got this woman up here.
Some
Oh
degree, to
my
some parts of
God.
the Olympics, I think it's just subjective.
All right. Okay. But I'm saying generally, right? When people think of the
Generally,
Olympics, they
no,
think,
generally it is the best of the best.
Yes.
Yes, it is. But there are certain sports that are subjective. Like it's based on judges' opinion. I mean, look at what's happening with Jordan and her bronze and her medal, right?
Yeah.
So, and the scoring and it's not right, and then they give it and then they take it
Back.
away,
Yeah.
all
you
right.
know,
So
and I'll be honest, some of it you can say in certain situations it's racism, and then there's other situations where it's countryism. I just made up a whole word,
Wow.
right? It's countryism. Like there are some countries who just fundamentally do not like Americans. They don't care if you black, Asian, or
okay.
representing. I think I'm on this Asian thing because I remember yesterday we were talking. I was like, I'm gonna start dating Asian men because I've thinking now I've brought it up like 4 times in all of my examples. But anyway, but I think it's countryism, right? And so, I get what you're saying. Like, people are mocking things, and
Yeah, I'm just
mocking people, and mocking sports. But I mean,
in just general, anybody,
yeah,
but in general, right? Anybody can
Right.
see a certain skill, right? You could tell,
yeah.
right? When you look at breakdance and there's a certain, common sense. All right, the windmill, the stuff she did, come on, you could tell. Come
Yeah.
on,
Kyle, I'm
come
telling you, he
on.
was the best spin mill person breakdancing in his
I was
neighborhood.
not. I was stop playing. I was not. I'm just saying. Point is how they're rallying behind her. All right. And
Yeah.
I get it. Support, that's cool. But we're getting back to the topic of the presidency and Kamala Harris and all this other stuff. We as a culture, we're not some poor culture. We spend billions of dollars in this economy. And
Who culture are you talking about?
African Tariq Nasheed talks about foundational Black Americans.
FBA.
Okay, but again, we're talking about identity, right? So, and it's the thing about when people talk to me about what the culture is, right? I'm of not popular opinion, but who is the culture? Because our race, I mean, when you think about it, there's so many, what is it? Philosophers who talks about the genetic makeup of black people. Everybody, there's some philosophers say everybody comes from Africa. The first human being was founded in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
if the first human being was founded in Africa, that means that everybody is a part of the culture, regardless of whatever race you identify as right now, right? You think, I mean, if the first, and I'm just using one person's philosophy, they're
Right.
saying
Right.
the first human being was found in Africa and
Right.
the human race was derived from Africa. So that means if we're saying the culture is African Americans, that would mean everybody represents the culture.
Okay.
Right? So now hold on. So fast forward now, you have individuals who come from Asia, who's Asian and black. Here I go with my Asian people again. Asian and black. Are they a part of the culture? Then you have people who are, what is it, Latino, black Latinos, Latinx,
Okay.
black, I think that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is,
Latinx. Yeah.
Latinx
Yeah.
community.
Mhm.
So are they a part of the culture? Because they have a culture too, right?
Right.
And then you have some individuals who are, have melanin in their skin, and they're like, well, I don't necessarily identify as African. I identify as American because my ancestry dates all the way back, as far as I know, to Irish or to, Haiti. Or there's philosophers that believe like Black people also derive from the Asian culture, Indian. I mean, so like, who is this culture?
I'm gonna clarify it. I'll clarify
Okay,
it.
I'm
So,
sorry
no,
for
that's
the
good.
culture.
Let's go. So,
It's a good question.
first of all, I agree with your point, Jay. According to studies in history, we all derive from one place, continent, Africa. Got it.
Right.
So, what I'm addressing is the man-made construct of ethnicities. What has developed post-creation, years post-creation. All right. So, in that sense, or in that context, is what I'm talking about. So these man-made constructs that, like Kyle said, politics affects our lives to the point where these idiots in office, as we live here in the United States, I'm not speaking about other continents or other countries or whatever, I'm talking about here in the United States, whereas slavery existed, chattel slavery, and kept a certain culture enslaved in that type of chattel slave to where it exists today with what we call the black tax, as it exists with real estate, ownership, and stuff like that. To that point, in that context, is what I'm talking about.
The black tax is real here in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I got the book, and I'm connected with Sean Rochester on my.
Oh, really? I just bought that book off of Amazon.
No joke, it's serious. So I'm gonna leave it, and then Kyle, you come, and then Shelly, you come.
But does he talk about the black tax that the black people put on each other too?
All right, but hold on, wait.
Because I can be an angry black person right now.
But we need to get Sean on here. We need to get Sean. That's what we need to get. We need to get Sean.
Yeah, because like, Sean, like for real, I'm about to give a real example. Like for real, like,
you're moving the goalpost.
I'm about to say this black tax is real. No, I'm about to tell you. Because black people be so quick to talk about other races, but we also need to talk, they say healing starts from within, right? And we need to heal because this black tax, and with me living in Atlanta, is real. I'm going to give you a prime example. Because some people do not like when I say I do not frequent at black establishments. And I'm about to tell you why. I was out with a girlfriend of mine. We were at the bar. We were at what they would consider probably a white establishment, okay? And I'm air quoting it. Anyway, we had, between the both of us, 4 drinks. Our bill was about $60, $70. Okay. The total bill. 4 drinks. And it's a speakeasy. So it's premium, and we get premium liquor because they were like, what liquor you want? And we got the premium liquor, and it was like $70. So $30 a piece, not including tip, right? We decide to go to another establishment that is air quote black owned, but it is not black owned, black establishment. It's a cigar bar, kind of similar in concept. We get there, we have watered down ass drinks. Sorry, I don't know if I can say ass. We get 2 drinks, and they were watered down. It wasn't even, because I told the girl, I need you to do this. If your hand does this or go low, I don't want it. I don't do bottom and I don't do mid. Make your hand go up this way. I don't know if she went high or she went high. There still was low. Either way, we had 2 drinks. Then, as per usual, every time I'm out, if I meet the people and it's somebody's birthday, I'm always buying a shot of, some rounds. I'm just, if you my neighbor, I'm like, hey, what you out here? You say it's a birthday, hey, shots on us. So this guy was sitting next to me, and we'll talk about later how black men do not stand up when you see a woman. Well, just men, period. But anyway, so I had to get this guy. I bought him a drink and say, can I buy your seat so my girl can sit? Which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? That's a whole nother topic for another day. Anyway, so we get him a drink.
I'm making a note.
Yeah, because I just think that's ridiculous. I bought a seat for my girl because he didn't want, his mama or somebody did not raise him to say, when you see a lady, offer your seat. But, many would disagree with me. Anyway, get him a drink, get the girl a shot, and then we decided, because we had alcohol, you start counting the drinks. Right. We decided to get it wasn't even real steak. It was like a steak dinner, and we split it because we wasn't that hungry or whatever. That bill was $300.
Wow.
And I'm not exaggerating. It was like $280. And then you add in the tax. That is the black tag. And don't hold on. Pause right there. Let's
Was that a
rewind.
Kobe? Was that a Kobe beefsteak? What was that?
No, it was one of them like breakfast steak, the slender ones, the small ones. I can't
Yeah.
even yeah.
And that
And it
thing
was
better be
no
white
size
grease.
to it. It was no size to it. It was just we was just like just give us the steak or whatever. We don't want the size because you know sides are extra. And it's
Yeah.
not a steakhouse. Anyway, before we even got in there, we get to the parking lot and the parking by itself was $30. $30 for parking in Atlanta.
Wow.
So in this one, if we didn't even go to the first establishment, we have already spent $400, $200 a piece. And this is not an upscale establishment, at least in my opinion. Let me just say that, in my opinion. Some people might say it is because, you know, they have cigars or whatever, and it's off of Peachtree. And I'm trying not to name it
Indeed.
because,
Indeed. No, we don't need to put on blast. You know,
yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
putting it on blast. But I'm just saying, like, that's the black tax. And then not too long right after that, I went to another cigar bar that was considered a white establishment. Same thing, same drinks or whatever. And my bill was maybe like $80, $90. It's and it like I'm sorry, you caught me on that one because I'm always complaining here about why I don't go out because the black tax is real and we be black taxing each other.
Okay, so
like you want me to support your establishment, but we went to a club to support somebody else. It was their birthday. We paid, and this was stupid on our part, but you know, we were trying to support somebody's birthday party. I'm not gonna call out the race who owned the parking lot, but we pulled in, and because the parking lot was right next to the club, the parking was $60 for parking. We were only there for an hour. For parking. Now, had we not had VIP passes for free, to get into the club was $40. And this was at 10 o'clock.
wow.
So
I wouldn't even expect for a man to buy me a drink up in there because I'm like, what you doing for a living? Because you first of all, why are you in the club paying $120 before you even get to the club? And then you want to buy me no wonder they be sipping on them drinks in the straws all night long. I didn't pay $120. And then the music was horrible. The DJ kept talking like I'm doing right now. Just talking. It was like, can you please just play the he play like a snippet of the song and be like, hey, we in the club. Hey. I was like, I paid $120. Well, I didn't pay it, but I'm just like, I would have paid $120 to listen to this dude. Hey. I was like, these young people are dumb. I'm sorry.
No, let me chime in. Let me not to cut. Not to, like
all right,
say,
hold on, Cal. Before you
talk.
Family, we haven't. We're still going to talk about politics and Kamala, so we haven't yet. But we just going to cover this. Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah. No, I was saying that like I noticed that that's like a New York thing, and not a lot of DJs are doing that now. When I first got here in New York, come from Chicago, that used to annoy me too. I'm like, why they keep talking over the record? Why they keep, you know? But that's a New York thing, and other DJs have taken that on and be like, so welcome to the party, and then they play the record, and then they cut it in. Have a good time, y'all. Yeah, have fun. And then it's like, dude, let the record play.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying this a cultural thing, right? Like a cultural.
Yeah, you need to get two DJs on here so we can drill them and be like, why?
Yeah. It's a thing to keep, you know, it's music in.
It's no music. It's no music. You just talking to me over music. I'm not even dancing.
Well,
I can't even dance because as soon as I start getting in the reel, you hey, throw your hands, where your drink. Tip the waitress. I'm not tipping nobody because I'm not getting anything to tip. No, and I'm a tipper. I'm sorry. I'm still upset about that. Because when you talked about the black tax, that just got me all like.
This is good. That was
this is good.
Question.
Because we can talk about black tax on a lot of things. Our education.
Shelly, I love it. So, question for both of you, Kyle and Kyle. Don't forget your train of thought. When the DJ was talking, what time were you at the club? Because I would think like after 12 is when the club starts getting bumping and the DJ don't talk as much. So I'm like, was there a specific time? Do you think this happened?
They talking.
Throughout the whole, okay.
They talking. And I don't even go to the club. You know, I'm of the age where I don't go to the club. Right. I just happened to go to this particular club because I wanted to support one of my sorors and her boyfriend. And I told you it was 10 o'clock. And they were like in there talking. And I didn't leave until I think 2 hours later. And he was still talking. He was talking with me out the club. I was like, yo, this is not good. And like I'm saying, it was bad. And he was playing. He could have had a really good mix. But I mean, I'm of the age now where I can appreciate my generation. The 90s. If I go to a club with the 90s people in it, them DJs are playing daggone music. They doing a mix, you
Yeah.
know, and they talking here and there, but they talking like they used to, like it was a house party. Like, you know, if you got long hair, put your hands up. You got short hair. If you're fucking tonight, yeah, you know, like they tell us what we about to do. They call
Right.
who's the single ladies? All the single ladies, put your hand, like they are making people mixing me. This group is hey, tip the waitress, hey, where my motherfucking drink at? What the fuck? What y'all doing, nigga? It's like, oh my god, like sit down, go to DJ school. Like it's bad. Like, but I don't know. People
Like,
paying.
you good? You good?
They
Yeah.
paying for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
But no,
gonna become a DJ next.
I
All
mean,
I have to do, hey,
again, these things, right? Like you're saying, the black tax, right? Because these things do happen where we get overcharged. We overcharge ourselves in these so-called establishments that are owned by black folks. And it's frustrating because you want to support, but it's like, well, don't financially I don't want to use the term. I want to use another term. Don't financially ruin me. Don't financially break me. I'll say that. Don't financially break me when I'm trying
yep,
to support. Because I'm going to come one time. I'm not coming back, and I'm going to talk bad about you. Which you have a legitimate gripe. You have a legitimate concern. Because like, hey, I wanted to support, but come on, $60 to park. Then you giving me some like a beef strip steak that's not Wagyu or Kobe probably.
yep,
And it's like, come
yep,
on, y'all.
exactly.
Come on now, like I
Well,
look, I know you got to make your bank. I know you got to make whatever rent but this is you're not giving me the type of service to charge that amount. Now, if you gave me that type of service, you came up with the way that he danced for us. He died. He tipped my corners of my teeth, gave me a toothpick, picked it up. And I'm like, well, dang, this is, hey, I paid
Yep,
300, but hey, man, they massaged my shoulders while I was eating. I was like, I mean, and
something.
again,
It's not. Yeah,
these are
I agree.
services. Now, here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. These are services that people actually offer at esteemed establishments.
Yeah,
So you may eat a steak and you may be charged like 300-400, but it's like, sir or madam, after you eat the steak, we have a complimentary foot massage, we have a complimentary shoulder massage. These are things that happen,
look, wherever
right?
that steakhouse
Especially
is,
here in
you
New
let
York
me
City.
know. I want to get my feet rubbed and eat a good steak because Lord knows I
Yo, go
love
to New
good
York
steak.
City, go to LA.
I
all
You
right,
will.
have.
so let me say this.
I will
One
get
of
my
the things.
feet rubbed and eat a steak. Yes, indeed.
Think about that. See, we just came. Look, family, who's listening? If you want a good strategy plan on an establishment, you want some high-end clients, do that. See what happens.
All right, so
But
yes,
hold on, who's serving me my steak? Because I don't want the same person who rubbing my feet
Of
serving me my
course.
steak.
Of course. Now that's
Because
of
you know,
course.
there's this place here
Right.
in Atlanta
Yeah.
where they're doing nails and hookah. It's a hookah bar, but it's a nail salon.
I can see that.
And a
I
lot
mean,
of people, when I look at the comments, a lot of people like that is so unsanitary.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. How is that? Because I don't, I know women do nails, I don't do nails. So is that sanitary? Because I know the chemicals in them nail shops be kicking.
It's kicking. I
Like,
mean, I haven't at
like
first.
I had a
Well,
headache.
I saw the establishment on like one person page because they also serve like hard liquor, and I was like, oh, that'd be really nice because they used to do wine. I was like, oh, that'd be real nice. I could give me a nice drink. This is before I had to stop drinking.
Mhm.
And then on another person page, I saw it and they were showing the hookah, and I was like, I don't do hookahs, so I wouldn't go because that hookah smoke and stuff doesn't go well with me.
Mhm.
So, but a lot of people's like, it's not sanitary, like you smoking something with the nail chemicals and you inhaling all of that. Um, I don't know. In Atlanta, anything goes. This
Yeah.
is where the
all
players
right,
come to play.
Yeah.
so so,
Good stuff there.
so let me bring it back real quick. Let me give
We're
some.
going back to Kamala.
No. We're gonna stay on this, and then we're gonna go to Kamala. So I think one of the things that we miss, you got to read the book. Shelley,
Yeah.
read the book
Yeah.
first.
And we got to invite Sean on here too. Like
Yeah.
we have to,
Shelley might be real good at inviting him, right?
yeah.
It might be her baby dad. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm joking, Shelley. I'm joking. All right.
Listen,
I'm,
Hey,
I'm in this space. I'm trying to get married. They gotta be good looking and they have to have a job. So if he wrote a book, he got some kind of job.
that's true, but I
it is.
forgot. I think he's married. So all right,
No,
so his
I can't be a side piece.
his
I'm
biggest
more than a snack.
Here's bringing it back.
Scrumptious.
I think
I can serve steak and rub his feet.
Lord, I think we're missing something here. I think we're missing something that's vitally
Yes, my man.
to
My
the
man.
to this. I think we're missing something that's vitally important to this part of the conversation as it relates to us as far as Black establishment, quote unquote, or Black owned. I think what we're missing is the financial piece. There are a lot of other establishments who are not Black establishment or Black owned who have a treasure chest of sorts of financial resources. They have backing that, are supportive. They're rich. They're
have investors,
contacts or what have you, or millionaires, hedge fund owners, whatever the case would be.
Right.
All know that other cultures rally and support one another. Jewish community in particular, how they own everything. They pay you. They shoot their money cycles, what they say, 10, 11, 12 times in the
Definitely
community.
over 10 times for sure. I remember
Before it goes out. As far as our community, the people in our community don't even reflect us, aren't even us. So when we just factor that in to our critique of Black establishments, whereas we're coming from a low income, low financial status anyway. We can't afford to charge $70 for 2 or 3 drinks. Black establishments will go out of business because, first of all, there's the whole legislation and structure in that community is designed for us to fail. Us meaning Black communities to fail. So we have to make our money any way we possibly can. So that's the main one right there. We don't come from the same financial lucrative background as our counterparts do. So we can't afford to charge less.
So you telling me when I go get a steak, if I'm in wholesale, my steak gonna cost me more than the white person's steak if we go into the same wholesaler?
I don't have any facts on this, but I would venture to say in some way, somewhere along that line, we're being charged more. If a white person, you do it all the time. If you go into a freaking you see it done all the time. If you're white compared to Black, how's it? Read the book, Shelley. Read the book. The fact that you have a different culture, you get discounts. You talk about Black people who served in the war compared to white people who served in the war. When they come back home, they're supposed to get these benefits. VA. Black people came back from the war, they ain't get shit. Excuse my language. All because of the complexion of the skin. It's all designed. It's favorite. It's favorable. You white, you all right. Black, get back. It's the same template is used across. So
what about somebody with my skin complexion?
Huh?
What about somebody with my skin?
You light skin, so you all right.
You like you well no like you like
Black. So Black get back.
It is.
Brown stay down.
Well, white you all right. Black get back. Oh no, brown. That's what it. Brown
gets that back. Black gets back. White, you're right.
Yeah,
White, you all right.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. Or I heard it was brown stick around. So if you
your brown
black
stick around
and not white, but you brown, you can stick around.
Yeah, but we know that's not even true.
Right? So
it depends on how you fall on the paper bag test.
Yeah, yep. Paper bag test. Yes.
Right? So Shelley, to your point, valid, but we have to understand this is what these Black are going. And I want to bring up something else as well, right? Don't act like we as a community don't have money. We be spending money on, let me calm down. I'm getting too passionate now. We spend money on all this superficial BS. Remember the thing years ago during the pandemic? Black people went to this Asian beauty shop. And they were getting charged. I don't know if you remember the show. You might remember.
I remember.
Remember, it was a whole big thing about there was a fight between like the Black people and the Asian in this beauty parlor, nail salon, or whatever the case is. Yeah, y'all remember that? They gotta look it up. Yeah, we spend what? How much now? I heard on lace fronts, women spend.
Oh no, you didn't go with the lace front. Okay, we started talking about Kamala. We got to the lace front.
I'm just saying. We spent what? Three.
It's about $1 billion. I think it's $1 billion. I might be misquoting, but I think it is $1 billion industry, weave and hair. But hold on. Here we'll have to come back to this because there is some stats that's out there. Black women, we do not make up the majority of that industry. Let's be really honest.
Yeah.
And I think that's a whole misconception
Very true.
that I really want to clear up. I don't have the facts, so we'll come back to this. The status, but not too long ago, I was looking at it. It was a documentary, and they were talking about the misconception of thinking that Black women, we are the majority individuals that support lace front wigs and weaves and clip-ins, and we're actually not. As white women.
Really?
They in other cultures, like
Yes, sir.
Kardashians, the majority of their hair is weaves and
Yeah.
clip-ins, right? It's not always that long. No one can stand, like, Kim Kardashian go from total blonde to her dark hair. Her hair would have fallen out by now.
Yeah.
Same thing, like, I'm using Beyonce as an example, but many celebrities, they use wigs and they use clip-ins to make their hair fuller and to be able to, constructed for whatever character they're playing, if it goes with their stylist clothes. So Black women, we are not, and that's a big misconception, that
Really?
Black women is funding that hair industry like that. We're not.
Well,
We're
that's
really
funny
not.
because Chris Rock had a movie called Hair or Black Hair, right?
Good hair. It's called Good
Good
Hair.
hair.
Good Hair.
Yes, he did. I saw that. But
And
it wasn't about the Black, it wasn't necessarily, it was his perspective focused on the Black women, but it focused on the evolution of Black women. He talked about the what is that? The perm, and then how the natural hair. Like, so right now, I would probably venture to say Black women and mixed women, because we have to be clear. There are other races that have, texture hair. It's not just Black African American women. You have Hispanics, you have Brazilian women, you have some Asian women that have very thick and texture hair. But right now, the industry that's really booming is the natural hair product. Right. And I think because Black women, our hair is naturally, been of a more texture, at the forefront of texture conversation. The misconception is that, all Black women have texture hair. And that's not even the case. My grandmother had very long, silky, fine hair. From the back, you would have thought she was a white woman. Right. So there are a lot of misconceptions about the ideal around who's really buying hair products and weaves and all that. Like cancer patients, many of them, they have to buy wigs because their hair fall out. My mom ended up starting to have to buy wigs when she got cancer, right? So there is a lot, like when we start talking about it, like you have to really understand the facts. Now, it comes up a lot more, I think, amongst Black people, because you got these, highly focused Afrocentric individuals who are like, Black women shouldn't be, pressing out their hair and putting pieces in their hair like the European do, right? So that's why I think that comes back to the conversation about who is the culture, right? Because you have these Black individuals, these men who are like, I want a sister with her natural hair, but you have, and it's funny, I'm saying 2 points as I speak about that, because you have a lot more Black men who say, I want a woman who have natural hair. On the flip side of that, Black men are most likely, and we talked about this, to marry outside of their race. Long hair, European looking females.
is that true,
Remember,
Huh?
Is that true?
Yes, the numbers are still low, but we are, as far as between the Black who those who identify as African Black men and women, men are the ones most likely to date outside of the race than the women are.
and
Sorry,
they're the
sorry.
most critical of the way that Black women look. So some of we can get down deep
Yeah,
into it
yeah,
and
that's
think
definitely,
it's
yeah,
a psychological thing that
very much
Black
so.
women
Psychological
want to look
brains.
more European and have it. How I wear pieces because I get tired. I don't want to always do my hair. And if I wanted to, and I used to tell my exes all the time, because he asked me about this, and I said, on any given day I wake up and I might want to look different, and my hair pieces give me that opportunity to be able to do that. Hell, at one point
Variety.
I had a variety, right? I might want this
Human
she
need, Patty.
or Shay
Human need
Shay. Yeah, and I
variety.
think I think hair pieces are what makes us such a unique culture for those who decide to indulge themselves. It's no different than you have individuals who love to dive into makeup, right? Their preference, they might have short hair or color hair, but their makeup look all, it's a variety. It's no different than individuals who love to, embellish themselves with their footwear. Their clothes might be shabby, but their footwear is gonna be on point. Or as kids, they on, on T or whatever, they stepping on the aisle, what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like, I think we all have our certain level of indulgence. I think when we talk about indulgence, it becomes a problem when it becomes what you feel is psychologically right. Like when you have black men who say, I don't like black women because they have too much attitude, so I prefer this race. That is a psychological, for me, that's psychological, right? That's a deep rooted issue.
Yes, I
I
agree.
don't mind people having preference, right? Like we talked about, people who date tall people or short people. That's a preference. But if you say, I don't like this whole entire race because they all have attitudes, so therefore I prefer that, then that's a psychological thing. And it's the same thing with hair. I like my pieces. I like my wigs. I like my weaves. I like my clip-ins. And thank God for them. Because I can color, dye them, cut them. And my hair is not messed with at all. And on the day that I choose to wear my hair, I wear my hair too. But I don't think that in general, all black women do it because we are aiming to look European.
Okay.
And we are not the ones that's funding that hair industry.
Okay.
Quite honest.
Okay. Point well taken. We'll dive into it. The context of it generally was we as a culture, as we already confirmed in this conversation, we do spend frivolously on things that are unnecessary, that if we really get serious and think and start to manage our money, learn about financial management.
Yes.
Well, here's this, kid. I'll tell you, this is what I feel.
Pool our resources together, then we
Yeah.
can probably be able
I think one reason why we the biggest consumer, to be quite honest with you, is I think because we're not the biggest inventors anymore. Right?
Elaborate.
Yeah,
because I feel like the stuff that we spend money on, like I'm just use tennis shoes for example, because at one point it was like, all these black kids, they spend their money on tennis shoes, right? How many black tennis shoe companies are there for us to support?
Black owned, you mean? Or
black owned tennis shoe company.
I know of 4.
That's national, that competes with Nike.
Oh, well, no, not at that rate, not yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like we are the biggest consumer because we are the least likely to be an inventor of something. So we support other inventors.
Sounds like an excuse.
No, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I think it's the reality. Like we don't really have, like we used to be big inventors, right? Like we used to support our community and we used to build our homes. Like look at all those black cities and those black towns that used to exist, right? And we had men who were able to build homes. So
that's
it wasn't
integration though.
Huh?
Integration messed that up. Civil rights movement.
I mean, yeah, they say that. I don't know. My mom and I used to debate that all the time about how integration, hurt us.
Integration played a part in that, definitely, because what it did is on an educational tip, not to.
No. I
but integration.
Look, I wasn't there when integration occurred.
I mean, same here. I'm going off like you said, our parents, elders. But what integration did, it gave us a little more access to money and resources. But what it also did, it threw off the purpose and threw off the onus of us taking care of ourselves.
So that's my point right there, right? Yeah. Like I was saying, and I'm gonna let you finish. Like that's my point. Like we were insulated, so we didn't have to go buy somebody else's crop because in our communities we built our own crops, right? So we were able to circulate our dollars and maintain our dollars because we were a lot more self-sufficient, right? Like if we wanted to build a house in our community, and like my dad grew up in this city called Faizine. I'm probably not even saying that right. It was on PBS, and it was a small city. It was a black city that was run by black individuals down in Louisiana, what is now known as Chalmette, right? Faizine. I'm not probably not saying that right, and I apologize. But anyway, when a man and a woman came together and they decided that they wanted to, build a home, that community got together and the men helped build that home. The women came together and they made, the draperies and all of that stuff. So where is that dollar going, right? It's staying within that community because in that community, they had people who, made the fabric, then you had the people who did the sewing. So it didn't, to our point earlier, there wasn't a black tax. It was, this is at cost because we are making these products within our community for our community, right? Now, to your point, capitalism comes along and, we're talking about integration. We go out. But I feel when, and I'll let you talk, how I kind of feel like, yes, I get that we had more access when integration happened, but I also feel like that was a choice for us to some degree. Like I make the conscious choice to send my child to a Catholic school instead of the local public school, which most likely, and I'm speaking in fictitious how the public school might be predominantly Black, but I decide to bus my child to a white school that's an hour away because I feel like the resources are better. That's a choice. And I feel like with integration as well, I felt like to some degree we needed to have the choice, right? We needed to have the access, and I feel like that was fair and equal. When it became fair, well, the first time around when it was like equal, I don't think we got equality, and I think that's what we ended up fighting for. And their workaround it was, well, we'll give you access, right? We'll, instead of making it equal and fixing your school buildings, we'll just give you access, right? And now if you look at where we are today, we're really right back to where we were before, because it's not even equality, and our kids still do not have access. And I'm just using the school structure to those resources. Like just here in Georgia, the schools on the south side look completely different than the schools on the north side. But again, it's a choice. And one of the reasons why I always say it's a choice is because when I was running for office, I used to say, yes, the government should provide certain resources to us, the same resources that they provide to the schools on the north side. But sometimes the difference on the south side from the north side is that those parents, they give to the schools, right? If the school need a building, you have those parents who, for all intents and purposes, own a construction company. It's like, hey, I will build this new building for you. On the south side, we still have this mindset of who's going to give it to us, as opposed to our Black individuals who have businesses to say, hey, let's all put our resources together and build it. And that was one of the things that the Black Panthers used to talk about. We can be self-sufficient if we choose to. And that's why I say we are more of a consumer than we are inventors, which is why we spend more money. Because in that simple example right there, Southside schools, instead of the parents saying, hey, let's pull our resources together. I can only give $5, but $5 go a long way. Kyle, you can give $20, $20. We chip in and it builds, right? But instead of us doing it and thinking like that, we put the onus on the school, and the school says, well, we got to spend the money. So now we become a consumer. I'm sorry. That's just, so I get what happened with integration. I also feel like in some situations, integration was a choice that many of us made, and we didn't necessarily have to in some situations.
Kyle, you want to?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Next
So
thing.
what I was you just answered my question in regards to the Black establishments and the restaurants. If you do the same thing, use the same template with regards to Black establishments and restaurants, we'll have the same outcome, right? Right? Everybody's chipping in, doing whatever their skill set is, and getting the produce or the meat or the steak. Boom, cut down on the cost. We apply that same analogy, same template, then we won't have that situation, most likely, not with all, but most. It'll improve the Black establishment. All we have to do is come together and pull our resources, and we solve it.